coding class for today, 28 July 2020. I hope everybody can hear me nicely and that you've had a wonderful time today, and that you guys learned some new stuff, and that that you just had a stunning day today. And today we are hopefully going to finish up with our functions so that we can start a little fresh. Even if we don't finish this lesson entirely today, that's also okay. I think we will just move on to something just to get a bit of a, as they say, a change of scenery, because this function lesson has taken up quite a bit of our time, and I hope everybody at least have some idea. But what I've seen from the homework I've received and from what you guys have helped me with in class, I do get the sense that you guys at least have an idea of what to do with functions and how to write your own functions. And it's quite nice if we can just go back and recall our code that we've saved in a function, that we can just use it over and over again. For those of you that don't know me, just a quick mention as well, my name is Mike Geldenhuys. Everybody just calls me Sir or Mr. G. So I just want to say welcome, and I hope you have fun with us today. Like I mentioned, we are going to go back to functions on our zombie artist. So let's quickly look at our objectives for today. Sorry, just for the class rules, remember this is just for everybody's safety and privacy. Let's keep the chat content specific, and that is the one I struggle with most because I work on two different platforms, on Zoom and on code.org. If there's too much coming through on the chat, then I can't always see who sends me a message. Then I have to go and open the chat first to see who answered or who's asking a question. So let's keep that content specific, guys. Okay, so our objectives for today: to recognize when a function could help to simplify a program. Okay, and then also to use predetermined functions to complete commonly repeated tasks. And then the purpose for our functions, remember this is meant to further push us to use functions in more creative ways. And yesterday we started looking at that by designing specific shapes with a repeated code. And then we've got one shape that we put in a function, then we put a line of those in a function. So they do help us quite a lot if we want to repeat the same pattern over and over again. And also just to improve our problem solving and critical thinking skills. Just remember a condition. What is a condition? A condition is a statement that a program checks to see if it is true or false. And then if it's true, an action is taken. Otherwise, that action is ignored. Loops. A loop we've dealt with quite a bit already, and I'm sure we are all quite familiar with loops by now. The action of doing something over and over again, and then our function, the block that we have been focusing on for the last couple of lessons. That piece of code that you can easily recall over and over again. And then I've got a big virtual chocolate for Taryn. Taryn was the only one that sent me her code for that puzzle yesterday. And just look at that. She wrote two functions, the hexagon function, and then a line of hexagons. And Taryn even used some colors to make each line a different color. Okay, so great stuff, Taryn. Thank you for sending that to me. I want to encourage everybody else. Also, if I give you guys a challenge to please try it and then send it to me. I just want to see how you guys are developing and how you guys are finding the work. And I think it was Taryn's mom that told me in the email that she finished this one so quickly. Yes, if we look at it to start with, it looks very difficult. But Taryn's mom told me after the lesson, she finished it so quickly. Okay, and we will be looking at this one as well today, just to make sure that everybody will be able to do it next time. Okay, guys, so we are going to go over to code.org. So if you just give me a moment, I'm going to switch system or just switch programs, and then I will share the link for you guys. Okay, so please hold for me while I switch over. Okay, let's see. Maybe it will come up now. There we go. This is the one where I explained it to you. And then the next one is the one that Taryn did for us. So before we go to that one, I just want to go through these steps with you guys one more time. So I'm going to post the link in the chat box right now. There we go. There's our link. And remember, please let me know when you get there, so I know that you guys are ready and we can move on. And I see Anesu is in already. I'm just giving you guys a few more seconds just to get ready, go to that puzzle. Wanda is in, Taryn is in, Zivan is in. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm going to talk you guys just through this puzzle. Yeah, we can see we've already done it. It works perfectly. Just a couple of things I want to remind you of before we go and look at the others. Just a quick refresher. First things first, we always go and look at our instructions. What do they want us to do? They said create this image using the limited blocks provided. Each triangle has sides of 50 pixels. That's how we know how long each side is. And remember, each pixel is a dot on the screen. And let me quickly see in our chat box, who of you can remember how big is our play area in code.org? How many pixels is our play area? Neo is in. How big is our play area in code.org? There we go. Zoe gave us the answer in the chat box. It is 400 by 400. There we go, guys. And what does that mean? It is 400 over. So from left to right is 400 pixels or 400 dots. And from top to the bottom we also have 400 dots. Okay, so we know, even if we just look at this from that side to this side, and we can test it actually. I think I've never tested it, but I do believe it is 400 by 400 because I've tested it already. Our center point was 200 by 200. Okay, so but we can test that if you guys don't believe me. So let's put this code on the side there, and let's just do an action of move forward by, now we are not quite, let's move backward first. I think if we move backwards by 50, we will be right at the edge of, let's jump. Jump backwards by 50. Jump backwards by 50. Let's see if that goes all the way back. Okay, I'm just outside the screen now. Let's jump back by 59 because we don't know where exactly we are. Reset. And, okay, I can just see my paintbrush, the tip of my paintbrush over there. Okay, so this will be one pixel, the first pixel. So if I draw a line now, let's draw a line, move forward by 400 pixels. I should draw a line right across the whole screen from the left to the right. Let's check it out. Reset and run. There we go. From that side all the way to that side, 400 pixels. And we also know that from that, because this is a square, same from the top to the bottom. That is just if you guys didn't believe me. I just wanted to show you that from the top, from the left to the right, 400 pixels, and that will be the same from the top to the bottom. So now we can throw that away. We can bring back our code over here. And remember, what did we do to start this? What did we do to start this? Because it looks quite difficult and complicating, but all we did, I'm going to put this code again on the side over here. I want to show you. All we did is we used our foundation, start the first shape. And all we did was we drew the first triangle. That's what we did. And we wrote a function for triangle. There's our triangle. We called it triangle. And that is what we did. One side 50 pixels and each turn 120 degrees. So that was our first function that we wrote. And if we look in our functions, triangle will be in our function option and we will be able to recall it over and over again. Okay. Then we saw that each line had 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So then we decided to write a code for line of triangles. Okay, so here we already did 1 triangle. We've got the function for that. All we had to do is jump forward from that point to that point and draw 4 triangles. So we repeated that triangle function 4 times. Okay. So there we had our entire line. And if we want to test that, look at that. Let's reset and run. There we go. We had an entire line of triangles. Then all we had to do was, let's put this over here. All we had to do was to line up to, remember I just changed my color because I wanted it to be a bit of a different color. We drew our line of triangles, we turned, we have to remember to face the direction we want to move in, and then I set a new color and I did the triangles again. So then I had 2 lines of triangles. Okay, There we go. And quite easily, and then we repeated everything because this side and this side is the same as this side and this side. And that's why we put it in a repeat. Let's reset and run. There we go, perfect. There's our first line, our second line, and then we repeated everything, our first line, and then our second line. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have quickly reviewed that, let's move on to the homework puzzle I gave you guys, which Taryn so beautifully solved. And it looks so difficult to start out with. And let me see, I already see so many hands going up. And okay, let me quickly share the link first because I see some people are still asking for the link. There we go, guys. There's the link. And then let me see who's going to help us with this. And I think, hi Taryn, how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
Good, thank you. Seeing that you sent me your homework, I'm going to let you help us out with this one. Yesterday, we quickly looked at just one shape. So I'm going to read the instructions and then you can help us. Okay, Taryn?
Okay.
There we go. So this time, use lines of 8 hexagons with 25 pixel sides. To make each hexagon, repeat the side 6 times, turning 60 degrees. Okay, now that is our first step. We did that together yesterday very quickly. How do we make one hexagon? We move forward by 25 pixels, which they give us. And a hexagon, they tell us, have 6 sides. And each time we turn 60 degrees. So here we have our hexagon, move forward by 25 pixels and turn right by 60 pixels. And we created a function called hex. I'm going to change that. Let's make it hexagon so that everybody knows what I am talking about. Hexagon. And there you see it already changes here, our function block. Okay, so Taryn, tell us, what is our next step? What do we do now? If we have one hexagon, that's easy enough.
I wrote hex, but it's okay.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
We got to functions.
Okay. We're going to do something and we're going to make a new hexagon. What are we going to make this function?
Hexagon line, but I just wrote hex line.
Okay, so let's do it like you said, hex line. There we go. That's a hex line. And how many hexagons are we going to put in this line? What do they tell us in the instructions, Taryn?
8 hexagons.
8. There we go. We're going to put 8 hexagons.
So we put hex in.
What do you want me to put in?
Hexagon.
You want me to put in the hexagon function? Okay, hexagon.
Then put jump forward 25 pixels, then loop it and repeat 8 times.
Okay, so that's all we're going to do. We're going to draw one hexagon and then we are going to jump 25. Let's go quickly, our actions. Jump forward 25 pixels. And just to show everybody quickly.
And put in a repeat 8 times.
And then I'm going to put that in a repeat loop 8 times. And just for those of you that are not sure why we do it 8 times, if we go back to the instructions, we will see they say each line, let's go up here. There we go, look at our instructions. This time, use lines of 8 hexagons with 25 pixel sides. There we
My
go.
whole
So
family
now,
helped me out, even my brother.
oh, wow. So you guys made it a family event. I like it.
Yes.
Okay, so here we have a hexagon line. I'm just quickly going to run the hexagon line so we can just check the one line if it works perfectly. So here we go. I have a hex line. I'm going to put that in my code and I'm going to run it. Let's make it a bit faster. Look at that. 8 hexagons in a line, and we can even change the color. How do we change the color, Taryn?
I put in a set color, random color.
Random. So let's go to our brushes. There we go. So we can put in a random color. Now, did you guys see inside we also have set width? So let's quickly put that in there as well. See what happens if we actually change that. Let's quickly make that 3. Just see what happens if we do that. Reset. Okay, the lines look a little thinner to me actually. It doesn't actually look bigger. Let me just see if I change it a lot, if it makes a difference. I always like testing new. There we go. It does make a big difference. Look how fat those lines are now. Okay, so guys, see, if you see something new in your toolbox, put it in, change values, and see what happens. Now I can see I've got very fat lines over here.
Turn right by 60 degrees because
yes.
in the instructions it says to draw a diamond you will need to alternate between turning 60 degrees and 120 degrees.
Beautiful. So here we go. To make there was that jump forward pixels between each hexagon, and then draw a diamond, like Taryn just beautifully said, is between turning 60 degrees and 120. And this turn over here is smaller than this turn over here. So we are going to turn by 60 degrees. So we are going to turn right. Beautiful. We're going to turn right by 60 degrees. Let me just move my function out of the way. Turn right by 60 degrees. And then what are we going to do, Taryn?
Then I said set color, random color.
Oh, you want to change the color again? So let's set a random color. Oh, I have to go to brushes, set random color. Whoops, not a red color. Brushes, set random color.
I made that mistake before.
Okay, there we go. Set random color.
Then hex line.
There we go. Then we want to draw our hexagon line. Hex line.
Then turn right by 120 degrees and loop it all in and repeat it 2 times.
Then I'm going to turn right. Now, guys, what I want you guys to, before I'm going to do that, thank you, Taryn, I'm going to do that. I just want to explain something before I do that, okay? Thanks, Taryn. Okay, guys, beautiful. That was very well done. So I want to encourage you guys also, remember what I tell you guys. If you do something, test it to see if it works. So we can always reset, we can always run it again. You can run it very fast to see that it works. There we go. I've got nice big fat hexagons. Look at that. It works perfectly. So I've got my 2 lines. Now I can just see in the direction I'm facing. I want to move this way now. So just before I loop everything, like Taryn said, I have to turn one more time. And this time I'm going to turn right again. But as they said inside our instructions, this turn is a little bit bigger, even if you didn't change it. Let's say, for example, you also made it 60 degrees. And you made the mistake by not changing it to 120. That's also okay. Because what's going to happen? Our turn here will just be a bit smaller, and we will have to repeat it more times actually to go around. So let's put everything in a loop. And I'm going to do what Taryn said. We are going to put everything inside. And I don't know what that is that just popped up on my screen. So now it's in my way. Let me just quickly see. I want to take that away because it's, I'm not sure why that has popped up on the screen. I think it might be on my slideshow that is. Not sure. We will just have to work around that for now. Okay, guys, so let's say we made that mistake and we reset and we run it. Now, because we set random color, it changes color the whole time. Now, look at that. If our turn was only 60 degrees, we would have gone that way. Now, what's nice about this is we can actually make a hexagon of hexagons. So let's think, I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So let's make this 4 times and not just, let's make it 3 times, because I think 3 times will bring us back. Now it's not going to fit in, but if we look at our, just wait for our zombie to turn, I think that he will connect again here. So let's quickly run our code. Ooh, where did my loop go now? Oh, that's there. Okay, so let's reset and run. And we're going to make it as fast as possible so you don't wait too long for it. There we go. Running so fast. Now, we can change the shape just by changing our angles and our distances. Look at that. He's coming around. Beautiful. Look at that. Now we have a hexagon out of hexagons. And if you did want this to fit in, what could we have done? We could have just gone here to our hexagon and made it a bit smaller. So let's say, for example, we change the value over here only to 10 pixels. And I'm going to make this width a little bit smaller. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to see if we have such small hexagons. Let's just make that 3. Okay, guys, now just by changing our size of the hexagons, our angle, look at what's going to happen now. Small little hexagons. Now remember, they are not touching because we are jumping forward by 25. If you want them to touch, then we just have to make that jump smaller as well. Okay, so let's make that jump smaller. Let's make the jump also, let's make it half. Let's make it 50. And just by changing functions and changing values, there we go. Now I'm touching again. Look at that. Look how cool that is, guys. Just by making small adjustments in your code, you can play around and make different shapes. Look how beautiful that is. Awesome. Okay, guys, let's stop playing around and go on to our next puzzle, 25. But this is why coding is fun. We don't just have to struggle with the puzzle that they give us. We can play around with what is available just by changing directions, changing distances, changing colors, and we can see what we can come up with. Experiment. That is a very important word I want to make you guys remember. Experiment with what you've got. Okay, so let's quickly finish this stage so we can move on. Let me just change all the values back. Move forward by 50 pixels. And then here we have to turn 120 pixels. I hope I've got everything right now, so let's reset. Whoops, that's too big. It's not 50 pixels, it was 25 pixels. Well, look how cool that is. I quite like that as well. There we go. This is the right one. Whoops, I forgot. I've done it 3 times. See, I also forget my things. I only have to do that twice, not 3 times. I've changed too many things. And that is why I've also told you guys, when we change things, we shouldn't change too many things. Otherwise, we forget some stuff. Let's quickly reset and run. And guys, remember, the only reason why it says 15 blocks over here is because I added this set width block inside so that my lines are a little bit bigger. And you can, like I showed you earlier, we can make that very big or very, very wide lines. And it also changes what your picture looks like. And that is why we have 15 blocks. So don't worry about that too much if you use too many blocks. Okay, guys, so let's move on. Don't worry, Anesu. This is also lesson number 5, part 5 of this lesson. So we did spend a lot of time on this. And if you're a bit confused, don't worry. We will go back to something tomorrow. What will happen, guys? Tell me what will happen in this code. We have, all I want you to tell me is A, B, C, or D. The artist will solve this puzzle correctly. The artist will draw 4 squares in a window pattern. The artist will draw one line of squares, but let's go and look. So repeat 4 times, draw a polygon, turn right. What is the polygon? Let's go and see. A polygon is move forward by 40 pixels, turn right. So it is just a square that we draw over here. And then here we have draw a line of polygons. So we have 8 squares in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our code says repeat everything 4 times. So, sorry, I just want to send a link. I see not everybody's got the link. Zivan already gave me an answer. What do you guys will think will happen? The artist will solve the puzzle correctly. The artist will draw 4 squares in a window pattern. Awande says A. I also think A, because each polygon is 8, repeated 8 times. So we're going to draw 8 squares, turn right, draw 8 squares, turn right, turn 8 squares. So I'm with Awande on this one. I also think it's going to be A. Let's run and check. Whoops! Look at that. And Zivan was right. Let's go and review our code. Why? What happened? Okay. Here we just did. The trick was here. What didn't we notice, guys? They didn't use the line of polygons. They only used draw polygon. So that was a little trick for you guys. So well done to Zivan for spotting that tricky code that they've thrown in there for us. They didn't say here we used a line of polygons. We only drew 1 polygon, so 1 square, turned right, drew 1 square, turned right. So we just drew a window. Well done. If we wanted to do the whole code correctly, we had to change this draw polygon to draw line of polygons. Well spotted. Okay, so let's go to puzzle number 13 quickly. I'm still wondering what this is on my programming with Angry Birds, number 9. Oh, we're not even on lesson number 9, so I wonder why this is here. Code.org maybe just threw something in here by mistake. I've got no idea why this is in my way. Okay, so guys, let's look at this last one. Wow, look at that pattern we've got over there. It's a crazy pattern. use what we've learned to make whatever you want. Now, this is going to be a challenge for you guys as well. I want to see what you guys come up with, and please send it to me. Now, here they've given you an example of something to do, but they tell you you can design whatever you want. Can you make something like this pinwheel? Now, if we look at each pinwheel, let's see what they've given us. They've given us a function, draw a hexagon. So we know now how to draw a hexagon. And they've also given us a line of hexagons. Okay. Now, who can tell me the first step? How are we going to draw this? Because look at where my artist is. If I just go to my functions and I say, draw a line of hexagons, look at what is going to happen. I'm just going to draw it in a straight line. I want to start there. So who can tell me, who can figure it out? How am I going to start right here in the middle? How am I going to start right in the middle? I'm going to give you guys a tip. Always go and check your toolbox. And I see something that I've never seen here before. I see math. Well, look at that. We can even do some math. I have not even seen this before. This is the first time I've seen it. So I haven't even tested to see what this does. But that seems cool. I will play around with that. Loops. We have just the repeated loop. Brushes. Wow, look at this. We have set color to random. Color with red, green, and blue. Wow, look at all these options. Play around in your toolbox. See what there, look at that. There's patterns, there's stickers. So you can actually draw lines with stickers as well, okay? So there's a lot of stuff for you guys to play around with to see what you can come up with. In our acts, we have our move, turn, jump, jump to, wow, look, we can jump anywhere on the screen. And then our functions, look at all the functions. Draw a line of squares, draw a hexagon, staggered squares. Those are all the things that we've done in this level so far, will be available for us to use. Okay, so many options. And I still haven't seen anybody tell me, how do I get to this point over here? And if you look carefully, if we go to our actions, we have a jump to, and we have jump to over down. So we can use either this one. And remember what we said, what is our size of the screen? 400 by 400. So the middle is 200 by 200. So you can either use this, 200 by 200, and if I jump, look at that. I start in the middle because I know my middle point is 200 by 200. There was another action we could have used. We could have just used the jump to. Jump to, and we go to middle center. Jump to middle center. Let's take this one out. Because then they've already coded in middle center. Where is middle center? Let's reset and see if that works. There we go. I still start in the middle. And I want to show you guys just by playing around a little bit. Let's say set pattern. Let's change that, see what is available for me to change. Oh, I only have a line. So unfortunately, I only have lines. I don't have funny patterns to work with. We've had some funny patterns before, but we only have a line, so we can't set the pattern. We're just going to use the lines. But I want to use a random color. I quite like the random colors. Let's reset again. Look at that. Okay. Guys, so what I want you to do now, I've given you a clue. Now all you have to do is, remember, jump back to the middle, or down here, you can just turn. I want you to figure out how big is the turn. And then once you've turned, jump back to the middle, draw a new line. Jump back to the middle, draw a new line. I'm going to see, that is a nice clue I gave you guys. Solve that for me, and once you are done, send it to me, and then I'll share it with everybody again. So guys, I want to thank you for your hard work. You guys are doing so well. Remember, there's my email address. You guys can send it to me, or if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for all the assessment emails I've already received. Thank you guys so much. I want to encourage you. If you haven't done it, please do it. And don't worry, it's not going to be difficult. It's some of the stuff we've already dealt with. Okay. Guys, have a wonderful afternoon, and then I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.